will the virtuous Sangha, out of compassion, for the sake of this assembly and all living beings, please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach and guide us how to end birth and death, leave suffering and attain bliss, and quickly realize non-birth. Cung thính đại đức tặng thịnh, vì thứ pháp vội cập nhật thiết chúng sanh, tịnh chuyên diệu pháp luân giao đạo hạ môn, như há liêu sanh thoát từ ly khổ đắc lạc, tốc chứng vô sanh. Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one. Nam mô San Ân Thô Su Chế Đô Ye Ơ La Hờ Đi San Miao San Pu Tô Xie. Nam mô Tát Đắc Tha Tô Ya Đa Ya A La Ha Đế Tam Miệu Tam Bồ Đà Toa. The unsurpassed, profound, subtle, and wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million aeons is difficult to encounter. Now that I'm able to see and hear, I will receive and maintain it. I vow to fathom the thus come one's true and actual principles. Wu shang sheng she wei miao fa bai jian wan jie nan zao yu wo jin jian wen de shou ju yuan jie ru lai zhe shi yin. Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, venerables, Venerable YongHua, Venerable Left-Home people, and all good new advisors, Emitofuo. 诸佛菩萨六祖是父上人，各位出家人，各位上智sư, Emitofuo. Chư Phật Bồ Tát, kính thưa lục tổ Hòa Thượng Liên Hóa, quý thầy cô và quý vị thiện tri thức A Di Đà Phật. All right, hello everyone. Today is the 5th of September 2021. Thank you all for joining us to this lecture on the 6th Patriarch Sutra. We are on slide 259 on the last chapter, the final instructions that the great master gave to his students. Okay, sutra text. Now to say goodbye, I will leave you a verse called the Self-Nature's True Buddha verse.
吾今留一记，与汝等别，名自性真佛记。
You see, I know he's not emotional, but he knows his students are emotional. So he keeps on saying, I'm leaving you now, I'm leaving you now. So it's to echo how his disciples felt at the time. They look at him, oh, he's leaving us, he's leaving us. Yeah. All right. So, thank you. So, the self-nature's true Buddha verse. Let's find out what it is. 自心真佛. So, it's talk about this true Buddha here that people here heard about true Buddha, but it's of the self-nature. Yes, number 6.
Thank you, Master. First of all, I'd like to say thank you to the Sangha and to you, Master, in honor of Labor Day for the tireless, unending labor that you put forward cultivating and supporting us.
Oh, I'm touched.
And I'd also just like to point out, as we've discussed in previous lectures, that per Western culture, when your good knowing advisor retires, this is one of the 4 times that Western males are allowed to cry. So I agree this would be emotional for his assembly.
But they're Chinese, though. They don't behave the same way we do. Yes.
I can't speak for the Chinese. Maybe they cry more.
Okay. No, it actually, they've been together for a long time, especially the students. And if you are there, I think even the ones who are enlightened, who were enlightened, they would be so appreciative. Just because you're enlightened doesn't mean your emotions dried up at all. They were enlightened, and the more enlightened they were, actually they were become more emotional deep down inside, whether they show it or not, because that's how they felt. You get the chance to draw near a great teacher who gave you so much that you can't express enough how to thank him, and so emotions, well up naturally. You say, I don't know how to express my gratitude. Okay, so of course they're emotional. Yes, but Labor Day. So does it mean we can take the day off? That's what labor is for, isn't it? Shouldn't we have the same American tradition? Because we're in America, Labor Day, therefore no one works. Like everyone is gone, you see, except for you. Let's discuss it. Okay? Project for the future. 261, Sutra text. People of the future who understand its meaning will see their original mind and realize the Buddha way.
后代之人视此记忆，自见本心，自成佛道。
The people in the future, okay, who recognize is not quite the meaning of the teacher. Teacher says, if understand. Actually, it means recognize. If the people who recognize its meaning, okay, does it make sense to recognize the meaning versus understanding the meaning? Is there a difference? What's the difference? Please help me out. People in the later generations who recognize its meaning versus understanding its meaning. Yes, number 6.
Thank you, Master. I think the difference is recognizing means I can see there's meaning there, but understanding meaning to me is like being on the level of enlightenment. It's a much higher level. So recognizing is easier and maybe more attainable for the majority of people.
Okay. So a deeper, higher level understanding versus recognition. Anyone else? That's a good point. Anyone else? Because the Chinese words are different, am I correct? Understand will be 了解, okay? And that's very precise. In Chinese, 了解 is understand. Where 识 here is 认识, okay? The 识 here is not quite the same level as understanding. Just to recognize it, okay? Because if you understand the verse, then you see your original mind already. That's why it's so subtle here. You know, all we need to do is recognize, that's what it's pointing to. You don't need to understand yet. See, that's what happens in in the Chan school. First of all, you see your nature or recognize your nature. And then if you have the luxury like Master Huineng, he would spend the next 16 years of his life running for his life and hiding. And so he has 16 years to work on refining his understanding, okay? But at first, all he did was that under the fifth patriarch said, this is my Buddha nature. I have access to it now. How do I use it? It's next level. See, that's why the Chinese Buddhism is so mystical to me. It's not clear to me that there is so much work to be done after you become enlightened. You don't just retire. It's so much work. Okay, so you first have to recognize your Buddha nature. I do have access to it. Okay. Now, how do I use it? Is the next level work, and which is a lot of work right there. To recognize, it doesn't take much to recognize, but it takes a long time, like the sixth patriarch, to be able to deploy, to utilize your Buddha nature. All right? So that's what it means here. If you recognize the meaning of the verse, okay, then you will see your original mind, okay, and realize a Buddha way. In other words, this is what's coming up is another certain teaching, a verse for certain teaching. Okay? All right. You see, this is what happens when you, yes, number 5.
Master Jason K. is asking, in the Shurangama Sutra, it says the fourth stage Arhat has no more outflows. Does this mean they are always in Samadhi? They don't enter nor do they exit Samadhi. Is this correct?
No, it's incorrect. Q&A. And that's why the way that the sutra are studied, are understood by the Hinayana people, they don't understand the meaning. That's why they thought that the work is done. No, actually, it's just the beginning of the work, and that's why it's so prone to misinterpretations and manipulations. They left it too mystical. Yes, go ahead. Q&A. Can't hear you.
Hello, can you hear me? Hello? Hello?
Yeah.
Hello? The comment is on the translation. It's missing the 自见 part, the see for themselves, for yourself. Can you hear us?
One more time.
Hello, Master, can you hear us?
Yes.
The comment is on the translation where the original text has the 自见本心自成佛道.
Yes.
See for them for yourself, or some way to translate the self parts. I think it's important. That's missing.
Enunciate a little bit because it's not clear.
The last part of the Chinese text, 自见本心自成佛道. It should be see the original mind for themselves or by themselves. And 自成佛道 is realize the Buddha way
Yes.
by
Yes.
themselves.
They don't, thank you for pointing it out to us. In Chinese, it's much more precise than the translation itself. In Chinese, there's a zi here, Chinese character here, for seeing and both for accomplishing. So the English translation, it chose to omit it. It's okay. À la rigueur. Someone just gave me a book on pronunciation. So I'm throwing back French words at you. À la rigueur. You got it? Look it up. I just, by the way, just a side commentary. I just found out I've been pronouncing some names improperly. Okay? For example, how do you pronounce? It should be pronounced as Bulgari. Huh? See? Some people say, what? It's the Italian designer. The Italian designer. Okay? So you need to pronounce these things properly, because when you go to Rodeo Drive, they're going to laugh at us. You say, what are you looking for? Bulgari? Bulgari? Where are you from? Anyway, so yes, preferably in the Chinese, this is where, if you leave it this way, the Chinese would know they have a much more precise understanding of the teaching of their own Chinese masters. In general, okay, it's okay to translate like this. We'll see their original mind. So in English, see here is yourself. Who else? Okay, so it's implied here. But the Chinese, they put emphasis on zi. Okay, this is the emphasis from the great master. So yes, San Jose is right. Okay, the master's emphasis is that if you look at these verses I just gave you, just keep on reciting them over and over again, and you yourself will see your own original mind without any help. No one needs to help you. So remember, the context is that I'm leaving you. I'm worried about you. Especially those of you who are not enlightened yet, I'm worried about you. Okay? So I'm going to give you something for you to recite. And you keep reciting it, and you keep on reciting, memorizing, reciting. Even when you meditate, you recite it. And by doing that, you will see your original mind yourself. No one needs to teach you. It's going to happen. And then because you yourself see your original mind, you will accomplish the Buddha way as well. So that's why typically, this is so beautiful, because typically in a certain teaching, the master has to be there and do it at the right time. But since he's not there anymore, he says, this is a certain teaching verse I need you to recite every day, every single time. It's like me standing there and reminding you and telling you. Yes, number 5.
From Jason K, does this mean the 4th stage Arhat still has outflows?
At times, yes. So in the Buddhist Buddha Sutras, it says the Arhats who have ended all the outflows and so forth, and have nothing left to accomplish. That's not the way it sounds. And that's why it's so misleading, especially for the Hinayana people, where they don't know they because of the sutras and that teaching there, they think it's the end, but it's not. And they should themselves know it's not the end, but they're too arrogant. Yes?
Anna, does recognizing come with wisdom, and does understanding come with intellectual knowledge?
Not at all. Not at all. Recognizing is whether recognizing is through your sense organs, you recognize it. Okay, and this jian here is Chinese for representative of all your sense organs, meaning you see it with your eyes, or you can feel it. Okay. You can feel the love, for example, and that's a form of jian, form of seeing. Or you can hear it, okay? For example, in the some of the Huatou, for example, from the Huatou cases, you remember the famous guy, I think it's Master Xiang something, Xiang Yin or something, where Master Lin Yu taught him, and he was sweeping the floor, the dirt, the ground, and a gravel hit a bamboo stalk and make a sound. Right there, he became enlightened. So that's jian as well. Jian through the ear organ. You can see that? So in the Shangama Sutra, jian here represents all the sense organs, meaning 6 sense organs. For example, in China, there used to be a Huangdi, the yellow emperor, who used to taste medicine, okay, to develop Chinese medicinal herbs, okay. So that's a form of practice as well. You practice your taste, and or the French, if hopefully. One of these days, the French will invite us over, yeah? Paris, anyone? Huh? And then we go into the note, the smell thing. Okay, that would be another form of practice. So there's all those are jian. Okay, so you yourself, through your sense organs, will become aware. Huh? Become aware. Hi, girl. You lost some weight? Huh? So you have the sense organs. Through your sense organs, you somehow will see your Buddha nature. Okay. So, for example, if you recite a verse here, you can do that too. By the way. Okay. You can do this too. This is why it's being recorded for you. You can recite these verses, and through this recitation, you keep reciting, okay? That's the form of practice, by the way. You don't need to do anything else. Don't try to, what does it mean? Whatever. That's nonsense, okay? And the Chinese will make you do that. No, you just recite whatever the verse is going to be. And if you do that, then you will reach certain enlightenment. How? Through your mind. You see, that's jian. Jian here includes all the sense organs. So zhi here is you yourself. No one else needs to tell you anymore. You yourself will get it. Will see your own original mind. At that point in time, you yourself, by your own power, will accomplish the Buddha way. Okay? It's better to accomplish. I'd rather have use the word accomplish here to create a jargon for Chan. Accomplish, when we do see cheng here, it's actually accomplish. You succeeded. Okay? Realize it's not as strong as accomplish. Yes, go ahead, 6.
Thank you, Master. That's one of the benefits to me of being a Westerner and reciting Chinese mantras. I have absolutely no idea what it means. I don't understand the Chinese at all. But I'll recognize the words in Pyongyang and I'll recognize the sounds that I'm chanting. And I don't have to think, I just do. And it's helped me to turn off my thinking mind.
That's right. That's what's beautiful about the mantra is that you just recite. You don't need to understand. And by the way, they're not Chinese. It's Sanskrit. It's transliteration of the original Sanskrit characters. No one really understands it except for the Buddhas. So that's why it's called secret. You don't need to understand, absolutely. And so it has its own magical powers. Okay, and that's part of Jian. Jian, you just recite. You just do it. You just sit. You just recite. And all your sense organs, one of them happens to one of them. And boom, all of a sudden you made a connection. That's it. Just like the gravel hitting the bamboo stalk, and talk, and the sound right there broke. Help that monk, Xiang Yin, break through. Just like Master Xu Yun, he was doing the Chan Qi, okay, at the age of 54. And he was doing a Chan Qi, working very hard, actually very, very weakened physically. And he stuck his hand out and holding his cup of tea. And the attendant poured hot tea into his hand, scalded his hands, and dropped it. And the cheap Chinese ceramic splattered on the ground. Okay? How is it possible? Back then, there's terre batteuse. Terre battue. It's a compacted clay. So how could you drop it and it could break? It's weird. If you drop it on concrete, yeah, I can see why it would break. Okay, but anyway, that itself, he dropped the cup of tea on the ground and it broke. And that sound right there is what his jian, that very moment that jian happened. Does it make sense now? It's so, the Chinese, the way to put it is so mystical. They say, oh wow, jian. But that's exactly the very, very moment with the sound. That very single sound right there. That's what happened. Okay? Or if you're going to go to Paris and I loved, if any rich French people would like to sponsor us, I can be bought as an exception, okay? Just for Paris. So you go to Paris and you work on this. You work on all this different 3,000 fragrances, okay? And one day it hits you. I say, that's it. You make Chanel number 6. Wouldn't that be fantastic? Yes, sir. Number 2.
So I have a quick question. What they mean the original mind, that they're talking about the thinking mind, and then when you say the Buddha way, are they talking about the Pure Land, or are they talking about something else?
Good question. The original mind is your Buddha mind. That's being is being covered up by your thinking mind. Your thinking mind that refutes the existence of the Buddha mind. So the Buddha mind is what is called original mind because that's what you were born with. And then later on, you learn about catechism, and that's why it gets covered up. Is that clear? That's the actual journey, by the way. I know it sounds funny to you. But that's what happened to us, not just catechism, but also physics, math, and all those things. We learn all those things. We become so proud of our knowledge. Okay? And that's an obstruction that prevents us from seeing our original mind. So any type of success you experience is actually an obstruction. It's another layer. Any success you have in life is actually another layer, another wall you're erecting that prevents you from seeing your original mind. So for living beings at her age, there are very few walls. So it's much easier for them to see their original mind. Whereas for us, the older we are, especially more successful we are, okay? Or losers, the more losers we become. So these are the walls of success and walls for being a loser. They all are creating these walls that prevents us from seeing our original mind. Yes, number 9.
Master, when we were in the Chanchi, maybe a couple years ago or a year ago, there was this talk, Master YongHua said that older people tend to have a little bit of samadhi. Why is that?
Yes, older people tend to have a little bit of samadhi because they are able to let go more easily than we can. Because they seem it all. They're not as excitable as you are anymore. Especially your age. It's your age of excitement. And you're looking for excitement. Whereas when after a certain age, when you reach, you say both. Okay. No big deal, So that's when you're able to you yourself actually are destroying this wall you've been building all these years, your entire life. And that's why it's easier for them to enter samadhi. Okay. All right, anyone else? So in summary to the question from the externalist, the original mind is what we all are endowed with, and it's Chan or Buddhism is systematic approaches to help you connect with that original mind again. That connection there is called jian, it's called to see, okay? Meaning that, there is a Phillips screwdriver that I can use that I didn't know I had before. And there is a priceless pearl that I didn't know that I have all this time. Okay? So that discovery right there is the aha moment right there. You suddenly become rich. So rich that you have to learn how to utilize your riches. Does it make sense now? You didn't realize you have all this wonderful treasure called original mind, and you listen to others, brainwash you with stuff, from politics to religion and all those things. Okay, and you don't realize you yourself have this priceless treasure inside of you. Okay? And the great master says here, I'm going to show you how to see it yourself. Shall we continue? Okay. Okay, Master YongHua. The most important part of the Platform Sutra is in this last verse. Sound interesting? Huh? It's a very strong statement here. The whole sutra, he says, you can chop it off. Just do the last part of the verse here and save yourself some time. He explained everything extremely well. The sixth patriarch left it not just for the people of his day, but for us now to cultivate according to its principles. He saw that you and I would be here listening. We all have a share. And we should cultivate according to this verse because we are all people of future generations, not animals. What's wrong with animals? The animals of future generation will have to be reborn as people before they can have a share. Not sure. Not all animals, but that's okay. What he means here is if you are in the animal realm, you probably won't be able to experience certain enlightenment, but actually a lot of animals are really not animals. That's why you can't put them all together. The sixth patriarch spoke this verse for people, not animals. Well, he doesn't like animals, clearly. Animals who wish to become Buddhas must first be reborn as human beings. That's correct. You should not lose this opportunity. Okay? Any questions? This is a very strong statement from Master YongHua. Number 6.
Thank you, Master. What's the verse again that's so important?
It's coming. Oh. It's building. This is crescendo. I'm about to unveil the verse to you. If you're interested at all. Anyone interested? Master Hsien says, Any other questions? If you're an animal, now it's time to leave. That's what Master YongHua basically is saying. Don't waste your time. Okay, 264. The verse runs, the true suchness self-nature is the true Buddha. Deviant views, the 3 poisons are the demon king.
即曰：真如自性是真佛，邪见三毒是魔王。
Okay, let's see. I don't remember this verse. I'm sorry. I should, but I don't. So let me peek a little bit if you don't mind. I just want to see how long it is before I open my big mouth and say things that I will regret later. This is a lot of, It's a long verse. It's not just a gatha. Okay, let's hold our horses and wait for the teacher to teach us. Okay, so he says, 265. The true suchness, self-nature, is the true Buddha. Okay? Tenru is a true suchness. Get used to these terms, like God, or true suchness, or Buddha, or thus come one, or Tathagata. Okay? True suchness here is the state of a Buddha, if you will. Okay? 自性, self-nature. Okay? So the self-nature of true suchness, okay, is a true Buddha. Okay. What else is there? The only thing that's true about the Buddha is the self-nature. Okay? Deviant views, the 3 poisons are the demon king. Deviant views. Deviant views, remember, deviant views are the prejudices, the views that make sense to you, but actually are contrary to the law of cause and effect. Okay? For example, just because you believe in the Buddha doesn't mean you're going to be reborn in the Pure Land. Make sense? Because there's no such direct causal relationship between you believing in the Buddha and you being born to the Pure Land. Is that clear? No such rationale in Buddhism, and no such teaching from the Buddha. Okay, so it's incorrect. Okay, therefore, such views are called deviant. Why do they sound so bad? Why does it say deviant, or why don't they use incorrect, for example? Does it bother you? Especially non-Buddhists, they're offended by that. Do you realize that? Those who are not Buddhists, they listen and say, you call us deviant views? I mean, our views as deviant? It's insulting to them. Why do you keep insulting them? Why? Why do we provoke them? Why do I call them Republican? Huh? Why? Because, number one, it's a wake-up call for them. You think you're so cool, but you're not. You're so wrong. And you're so full of yourself. Someone has to tell you. So far, so good. So, someone has to take a stand and say, you're wrong. I don't care. I may offend you. You may be the emperor. You may be the president. You may be God, but you're wrong. Someone has to tell you. Okay? Who has to tell you? It's the Buddha. It's not up to us to decide this. We didn't tell you about the law of cause and effect. It's the Buddha who told us about the law of cause and effect. Remember? I didn't invent it. We only repeat what the Buddha taught. We only share with you the Buddha's wisdom. And the Buddha says there's something called cause and effect. There must be a reason for that to happen. Okay? And so if you hang on to your views, you hang on to your prejudices, they are totally unfounded. Or the scientists call it unscientific, no proof, no foundation. That's wrong. Okay? But the Buddha, they don't say it's wrong. He says it's deviant. Okay? So, first of all, it serves as a shock to us. Buddhists and non-Buddhists alike. Because we Buddhists too have deviant views, because we have these prejudices ourselves. Yes? Not just them guys. We also have so many prejudices ourselves, because we came from them. Did you know that? All these views we have are wrong because in a prior life, we learned from them. We ventured. I personally went through that. I used to love to go to those places and chant and sing. You know, I loved the choir. It's nothing like it. You know, you go there and you stand there and you sing. It's beautiful. It elevates your soul. You know, it's wonderful. Okay, it's uplifting, if you will. Okay, and then I went to Hinayana myself. You know, because I could understand Hinayana sutras, but couldn't understand Mahayana. And I asked about Mahayana sutras. My master's disciple didn't understand it, so they couldn't explain it to me. So you see, we pick up all these things as we wander through the wheel reincarnation. So it's not a shock for them, but for us as well. Because we all have these prejudices that are sacred to us. Agree or disagree? Okay? if anyone touches our deeply held secret and beliefs, we find it very insulting. We take it very personally. So it's a shock treatment. It's deviant. Come on, man. It's deviant. When are you going to wake up to that? It's really deviant. Is it clear? So it's a shock treatment. It's electric shock, you will. Like I would like to administer to my disciples, my left-hand disciples, who use the wrong grammar. It's coming. I'm warning all of you. Electric shocks. Zzz. If I cannot find it, I will find a taser. It's not a threat. I never threat people. I never threaten people. I'm just giving you advance warning, that's all. Okay, so it's a shock treatment. It's a wake-up call. That's number one. Okay, I know I used to coil and used to cower down and say, no, deviant, you don't take it wrong. Deviant, he didn't mean it. Don't be offended. But no, I finally, as I get older, and I don't care anymore. I'm nearing retirement anyway, so I realize it's by design that he needs to shock us. Okay, it's a shock treatment. That's number one. Okay, what's number two? Equally important. Why we use these extreme words? The Buddha used extreme words. 邪, okay, it's deviant. Why? Because 邪 in Chinese is associated with what? Chinese people? Demons. Yes? Demons. Koreans. Do you associate 邪 with, is there such a word in Korean where you look at 邪, you say, these are demons? Yes or no? Korean, tell me. Same thing. Vietnamese ta is as close to demons as it could be. Am I correct, Vietnamese people? Yes? Ta is demon, demonic. There's nothing right about ta. Okay? It's demonic. Agree? How about you, Chinese people? 邪 is demonic. Yes? Korean. Xian agrees. It's demon. You see, 邪 is demon. You see? So, the word 邪 here, deviant here, means you are being manipulated by the demons. When are you going to wake up? They're pulling your strings. These views are not yours. It's the demons who plant it in your head. We can do that too, but we don't. See how? See, the demons, they plant it in your heads. They plant these thoughts in your heads. We don't do that. We point out to you, that's a deviant thought. That's the difference between Buddhism and non-Buddhism. We respect your sovereignty. We don't invade you. Most of the time, we don't invade you. Yes, Catholic.
I think not only Buddhists, also Catholics, we don't try to convert you. So, same thing.
You've never been to Home Depot. Or I used to hang out at Fry's Electronics. You would be surprised how many times the cashiers tried to convert me like this. When they saw me like this, they tried, God will save you. Jesus will save you. Christians, excuse me. Same thing. Okay? So the deviant here is to remind you that you are being manipulated by the demons. That's why it's deviant. Nothing to be proud of. Be careful. Does it help? Does it make sense now? Because Buddhas, their business is not to offend people, not to throw cold water at you at all. It's to remind you, Buddhas always speak the truth. And why is he being so brutal using these words? Because you better be careful. Does it help? Does it make sense now? I'm be honest with you. At first, 15 years ago, when I first started teaching, I was scared to use the word deviant, to be honest with you. Because I used to have a sister-in-law who's American, who's rich and very opinionated, has a PhD and everything. He says, why you guys always look down on women, look down on intellectual and stuff, and you call us deviant? Because you're deviant. All right? Deviant views. The three poisons are the demon king. See? That's what the master says. The demon king plants his deviant views in you. Okay? What else? The demon kings also encourage you to indulge in the three poisons. The three poisons are for you to indulge in, folks. The deviant views are, they planted in you. The three poisons, the approach, the demonic approach for three poisons is different. They don't plant it in you. They only encourage you to indulge. For example, indulge or indulge. Yes? Or you are wrong. I'm so right. You are so wrong. Indulge in your ego. You see that? I don't have my way. I punish you. It's a reminder for all of you, married men. Okay? Let your wife have their ways. Okay? And then that's the secret to happiness. Bosco can identify with that. He says, wow, I could use it on my patients. Why did your patients why did they go crazy in the first place? Because they forgot to indulge their wives. That's the reason. Never mind. Okay, we are digressing. You see, so the three poisons, they're different because we like to indulge in the three poisons. You agree with that or not? Huh? Wife number one, you agree or not? Okay, she forgot her name. How about concubine number one? Okay? We like to indulge in food. We like to indulge. Greed is a form of indulgence. Okay? Anger is a form of indulgence of what? On the ego. I'm right, you're wrong, therefore I will punish you. Agree or disagree? What about stupidity? Huh? Stupidity. Is that indulgence? Let me think. Yes. Number two.
I think it is. Because
Say what?
when people don't want to overcome the stupidity, either indulge in their own stupidity.
Indulging in stupidity. There's some depth in there that I don't quite get yet. Agree, disagree? Is there indulgence? What you call stupidity? If not indulgence, what would it be? Anyone? Francis, go ahead. Indulge.
Some people indulge in alcohol and drugs. That could be ignorant stupidity.
Do we know anyone like that?
Sure.
Okay, of course. It's a worst form of indulgence because you're stupid. Okay? Stupidity manifests. You see that? So the demon kings, this is the great master's teaching. Be careful. Okay? Someone tells you you have deviant views, be grateful instead of being offended. How's that? How many people dare tell you you're deviant? Okay, number one. The master says here, your deviant views come from the demon kings. You indulge in 3 poisons. That's the demon kings pulling your strings. Isn't that a powerful statement? So what does it mean when you recite these verses? You say, the true suchness, self-nature, is the true Buddha. Okay? There's a true Buddha somewhere. Okay? How many people know there's a true Buddha somewhere? Not many people. They don't know. They only know, Okay? So you know something fantastic. Something of this treasure you have called the Buddha nature. You should know about. Okay, number one. Line number 2, it says, the opposite of that is that there's a demon king who's the rival to the Buddha, by the way. The demon king is a troublemaker. Okay, wherever there's a Buddha, there are plenty of demon kings that come along. And this demon king here, okay, will instill deviant views in you and will help you, encourage you to indulge in the 3 poisons. So self-indulgence. That's why Westerners excel at. What we do is self-indulge. Yes? Why do I feel like I sound like a tent preacher? He says, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not drink, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife. Okay? So, another demon king. Is it clear? So if you have deviant views, if you have the 3 poisons, you are a servant of the demon king. Any problems? It's throwing cold water at our face, isn't it? He says, you will have the Buddha nature, you're so special. But if you have deviant views, if you have 3 poisons, you are demon king retinue. That's where the concept of if you're not enlightened, you are a retinue demon king comes from. If you're not enlightened yet, you still have the 3 poisons. Is that clear? Questions or comments? Next, 266. At times of deviant confusion, the demons is in the house. But when you have proper views, the Buddha is in the hall. Deviant views, the three poisons produced within the nature, are just the demon king come to dwell in the house.
邪迷之时，魔在舍；正见之时，佛在堂。性中邪见三毒生，即是魔王来住舍。
Okay. Wow, he keeps repeating this concept, this theme. Huh? Okay, let's go through them. 267. When there's confusion because you have deviant views, the demon is reigning in the house. Which house are we talking about? Guess two.
Your soul?
Your soul. Very good. Very close. Just neighborhood is a bit off. Yes, 9.
Your mind?
Your mind, not soul. This is your confusion about deviant people. They confuse soul with mind. They say soul is something you can't help. Mind is something you have control over. Is that clear? The clear distinction where you are? Soul is, my soul. My soul. Whatever it is, the invisible thing. But the mind is what this is referring to. The demon king manipulates your mind. It cannot manipulate your soul. Does it help? Be careful, okay? So, the demon is in your mind. Your mind is demonic. At this point here, folks, if you really are a true believer, you should be sweating right now. That's how vulnerable you are. Are you confused about cause and effect? Deviant confusion meaning you're confused about cause and effect. Anyone? I'm worshiping the demon. But when you have proper views, the Buddha is in the hall. When you clearly understand the consequences of your actions, okay, that's called proper views. He's not asking you to be right. Is that clear? He's not asking you to be pure and smart and successful and what else? It's important to you. It doesn't matter. If you understand, when you see something, you see the law of cause and effect clearly in action, then the Buddha is in the hall. What does it mean, Buddha in the hall? Yes, purple.
Well, if the Buddha is in the hall, it means is you see the Buddha, and the Buddha is present in your mind.
Buddha present in your mind. I'm saying the deja vu. You know what deja vu is, my friend? Okay, deja vu. Deja vu. But you Americans pronounce it wrong. Yes. Why the hall? Why not the mind? Why the house and not the mind? Why the hall and not the mind? Why? No? No? No one? Number 7, must I do everything today? Anyone? Number 6, why the hall? Why the house? Yes.
Thank you, Master. First of all, in America, we say things how we want. It's America.
What? I didn't catch it. I know it's funny, but...
Short aside, I was a child in the grocery store, and my mom asked me if I could get her a box of Bon Ami, and I just started taking 6th grade French. I had no idea what she was talking about, but I said, "Do you want the Bon Ami?" She said, "No, I want the Bon Ami. It's America."
Bon année? What's that?
I'm sorry, Master, I digress.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
My simple response would be, the reason it's a house and a hall is because your body is a temple, and temples have houses and halls.
Okay. Okay. Q&A.
My understanding is that the hall here just means the middle main part of the house. So it's like the most important area of the house. It's like in the charge of the house. In charge of the house.
Very good. It's Chinese. It takes the Chinese to point this out. Very good. Okay, thank you for reminding me. Anyone else? Go ahead. Number 2. What's your Mexican vantage point?
I just think that when you have proper views, maybe Buddha or God will reside in you, will reside in your mind, because you have proper views.
Very good. Thank you, San Jose, for pointing it out to me. Because of that input, I explain it slightly differently to incorporate that concept, which is very, very important concept in the Chinese organization of the house, of the household. In Chinese houses, traditionally, you have something called tang, or the hall, which is supposedly the best areas of the house, the most important areas of the house. Okay? So, for example, typically, the Chinese architecture, I'm going on a limb here. Okay, Chinese architecture, you have a courtyard. You have these as the main entrance, the main gate. You go in, you see have this courtyard. Okay, and then you have these houses on the side. These houses on the sides are not important houses. The main house is facing the entrance. Yes. So far, so good. This is architecture. This is layout. So you have this the gate. Okay, as the camera right there, walking the courtyard. Okay. And then you go into the main house where you receive important guests and visitors. That's called tang. That's how you greet important people. You invite them to your tang. Okay? You invite them in. And then after the tang area, okay, the hall right there, behind the tang is what? Anyone? Church? No, not church. Hey, Chinese people, you don't even understand this? This is from National Geographic. Q&A.
Quarters or bedrooms.
What?
I think it's the bedrooms, living quarters. behind the main hall.
Not a dining area?
Not sure.
See, even the Chinese don't even know. What's wrong with you Chinese people? You lost your heritage.
We never lived on proper big homes like that.
Why I feel like could use some Chinese input and they're sleeping right now. Taiwanese people. What's behind the Tang? One Teksunim, what's behind the Tang in Korea? Do you have that kind of structure or not? I thought you have the same thing. You have a gate, and then you have two side houses, and then your main house where the first room is a Tang. Yes? That where you have a big area, big hall to receive your guests. Yes? 5.
Jane said you dine in the Tang.
You dine in the Tang, you have tea in the Tang, and all those things. It's all in common. But behind the Tang is what? Come on, Jane. Yes.
Derek said tea. And then Sue said reception area.
Reception area. But we have a reception area already. Lily, what's behind the Tang in Korea? 1. 3, yeah.
방에 우리 어렸을 때 들어가면은 중요한 그렇게 금고가 하나 있어요. 그게 거기 말하자면 금고라는 거는 거기 귀한 거를 다 넣어두는 거거든요. 금이나 뭐 돈 그때는요. 그렇게 귀하다는 그런 말 얘기가 아닌가 싶습니다. 저도 생각에.
That's a lot of rooms she's describing. One word would suffice, but she's used 10 phrases, 10 sentences. Yes? 7.
When I was young, I remember behind that hall, there was a safe. There was a safe, and then people kept important stuffs there, like money and gold. So when you think about important things, I could think about that.
So in her era, and Lily's when she was younger, behind the wall at the Tang there is a jewelry store. Okay, anyone else? The Koreans are looking it up and say, oh my God, we don't even know our own layout in the houses. Huh? What's behind the Tang? Yes, 5.
Jane said behind the Tang is the she.
She. Correct. What is she? Excellent. As compared to jian, you have a she. Excellent. Yes?
She said it's the 3rd tone, not the 4th tone.
She. Okay, I didn't know that. Okay, I won't pretend to be Chinese. Okay? And the she is what? Huh? The she is what? Gạt mô nhăng. Huh? Chinese people. The Koreans never learn it from a Chinese. And how come I am Vietnamese, I know about this, and the Chinese don't even know? Because the Chinese got it from a Vietnamese. Behind the tongue is the quarters of the master of the house. That's the second most important room in the house. The house is on the sides. The jian, the house is on the sides called jian. The rooms are called jian. They're not important. It's the tang and the she, whatever that thing is pronounced, is the main area of the house. This is power. Okay? Because the master, when he greets his visitors, he just has an open go around and greet his visitors, and that's it. Doesn't have to travel very far. Is that clear? So that's the whole. Okay? So the difference, I'm amazed that the Chinese don't even know anymore, and I know. How do I know? It's a Buddha nature. And I'm Vietnamese Buddha nature, clearly. Hey, yeah. Okay. Yes, 5.
It's fourth tone. It's she.
Make up your mind, Jane. It's she, of course. It's fourth tone. I pronounced it right the first time.
Venmo Xuanxing sent me the word is she. Jane
Okay.
said it's third tone.
Ignore Jane for now. We go Taiwanese for now. Okay? It's she, because the she is the quarters of the master, of the owner of the house. Okay? It's always facing the gate. Okay? It's power, central location. So in order to get to the master of the house, you have to go to this jian where you have people shooting at you. So you cannot get to the master's house, the master's quarters that easily. They shoot, they throw lances at you, they shoot at you, they stop you. Like in the Kung Fu movies. Don't you get it? Do you get it now? The positioning? It's so critical. It's called positional power. Yes. Number 4.
Master, it looks like it's like a Chinese movie.
Yeah.
Where they have the Tang, where the king was greeting the official, and then the Yang Xingdian, where he stayed, and then the Liu Gong.
Well, it's different from the palace. The palace is too big. We cannot compare with the emperor's palace. We're talking about typical Chinese house, okay, that I can identify with. Okay, is you have the gate, and you have a tang, then you have a she, and then you have jian. Okay, it is a layout. This is for if you are a person of stature, have money and all. That's a structure. Okay, so that's why when you are in your she, then your neighbors cannot listen into what you're talking because they are over here on the jian, and the she is right behind here. For the jian to go to the she, have to go to the tang, then you get to the she. You see that? So the layout is power. It's like you don't mix with the help. The jian is the rooms on the sides here are for the assistants, the concubines and all those things. Jumi, you know what I'm talking about? Does it ring a bell? You used to live in the jian, okay? You don't get to see the she. That's what happened to concubines. Okay? Now she's a number one wife, so now she's in the closest jian, but it's not in the she yet. Is that clear? It's power. You know, right? So the senior wives are the closest one, and the concubines are a little bit further away. You see that? So that when a concubine comes to the she, they all see, oh. Really enjoys this. He really enjoys the Chinese way. You deep down, actually you are yellow inside. White outside, but yellow inside. Okay. So far, so good. So going back to the important lesson about wisdom here, it's not about architecture. May I remind you? You better learn Vietnamese. We have so much wisdom. Okay, so the demons in the house, but the tang, the hall, is where you guard first. You keep an eye on the tang. You don't worry about the rest of the house, right? It's for the concubines. You know what I mean? There's no way to control the concubines. You only take care of the tang. You understand now? Because the tang is next to the owner. So the most important room in the house is the tang. So the Buddha is at the center of it all. The most important area reserved, okay, is for the Buddha. Let the demons be with the concubines. Got that? Hey, don't blame me. It's Vietnamese wisdom. Yes, Daniel.
So, quick question. So that means that the demons and the Buddha live in the same house?
Yes, absolutely.
Just different part of the house?
Different parts, that's all. But when the Buddha is in the hall, then the demons are off limits. But when the demons are in the hall, then the Buddha goes to the temple. These Catholics, you need to spell it out for them. Yes, anyone else? Okay? So this is very, very, very personal. If you have confusion, you are living with demons or concubines. You know what I mean? But if you have proper views, the Buddha is with you. Isn't that beautiful? You're with the Buddhas. The hall here is the mind. This is the most important area of the house. This is your most important area, your brains, your mind. Is that clear? It's so beautiful. It's so Vietnamese. Can we continue? You have to give it to the Chinese patriarch. They're so subtle. You know, every single word they use, it is so dead on. And only the Vietnamese understand it anymore. Yes, sir. Daniel.
So, my question is, so that would mean that, so we always have confusion and deviant views, right?
Yes.
Because we are human beings, sadly.
Yes.
So, because we're human beings, we have deviant views,
Yes.
especially if you're Buddhist or Catholic or whatever.
Yes. Buddhists also have deviant views.
Yeah, I know.
What do you mean you know? We resemble that.
No, I say, okay, I get it.
Okay. And you see, and Buddha is right next to deviant views. You see that? So that's the nature of a relationship. One step away. Yeah? You go to the Jian, the sides, that's deviant. All you have to do is walk over to the Tang, you're with the Buddha. It works both ways. You see that? It's so close. Does it help? It's not that far away. That's why it's called sudden teaching, because you're so close, and yet you drop out. All right? Next, deviant views, the three poisons are produced within the nature. Okay, so this Buddha nature of yours, of ours, okay? Originally, it's pure. It is flawless. And somehow, the deviant views and the three poisons are produced within this perfect thing. That's a fact. There's nothing to understand. Okay? Meaning that within this pristine, within this pure, it contains what? The ugly, the dirty, the defiled. So Buddha and demon are intermixed. You see that? It's together. You cannot say, you the demon, I will kill you, because you're only killing yourself. Is it clear now? Why we don't reject them? I mean, excuse me, the demons. Sorry, it's nothing personal. Okay? You understand? You understand now that Buddhists do not reject the demons? Don't try to say, you the demon, I will kill you. You an infidel, I will kill you. It's okay to kill you. You don't observe our Sharia or laws or whatever. It's okay to kill you. You're killing yourself. That's all you do. So far, so good? That's why the Buddhists, sir, are the most pacifistic people. The true Buddhists are very pacifistic. They don't kill people. They accept, they embrace them all. They say, oh, come on, demon, we brothers. Huh? Concubine, I'm wife number one. I love you too. Got that sin on? You see? They're evil. But you still embrace them. You don't say, go to Seoul. Get out of here. Does it help? Okay? You still, we are sisters. Huh? And that's Buddhist wisdom. That's called Buddhist love. Buddhist love. We love the demons. We love, the wife loves the concubines. All right? Are just the demon king come to dwell in the house. Okay? So it's a reminder. Good Lord, I get so excited. My clothes need to be adjusted and everything. What would people think if the Dharma master looks so untidy? And because I get too excited. The demon and the Buddha is so mixed. It's all jambalaya. Taco. Okay? So far, so good? Yes, number 9.
Yeah, Master, that is a concept that has been kind of confusing to me. So yesterday we talked about Vairochana and how Vairochana Buddha is everything in the entire, everywhere. He's, like you said, the dirt, but then that also means he's the demons too, in the same way that he's everything else, right?
Right.
So if the Buddha nature and the demon nature are both contained within us, and they're intertwined perfectly, why do we spend time trying to get rid of anger and the three poisons when they are actually the Buddha?
Good question. Why can't we can I paraphrase the question again? If it's the same, can I be a demon instead of a Buddha? Is it fair to rephrase it like that, sir?
Why can't I be okay with being a demon and a Buddha?
No, forget the end. Do the first part first and do the end later. Can I just be the demon and not the Buddha? It's the same anyway. Good point, yes? Deviant view. You are the demon. Let's get a taser. Electric shocks is not enough. Sometimes circumstances call for more extreme measures. You know what I mean? Yeah? What do you have to say? Wait, give the crazy people doctor a chance. Your patient comes and says, I want to be a demon. What do you have to say? He says, honey, gonna take a while. Don't wait for dinner. Right? You call your wife and say, I'm gonna be here for a while. Okay, it's gonna take a lot longer than I thought. What's the matter with you? You'd rather be a demon? This guy is incredible. He says, I want to be a Buddha, and I also want to be a demon too. And the question is, the obvious reply here came from Jack Nicholson. To paraphrase him, go ahead. You
can't handle the truth.
You can't handle being a demon. You can't handle, man. You'd be better off being a Buddha, my friend. You won't like it. Yes, number 6.
Thank you, Master. If I could take a step back from the Chinese architectural considerations of this metaphor.
Yeah, go back to the Vietnamese, yeah.
For me, it goes back to the word deviant and the interpretation of, and what I recognize that word to be. To me, deviant is describing the path you choose to take. You're deviant when you deviate from the path of Buddhahood and enlightenment. Joe Kennedy chose to invest in alcohol during the era of bootlegging. His children went on to become president of the United States, yada, yada, yada. Lucky Luciano chose the same path and ended up helping the United States in World War II. But they chose the path of deviance. They didn't choose a path of goodness and peace.
And is there a point here? Do you admire that, by the way, or?
Well, as a
Is that you call that success? I mean, so the deviant with the successful. Is that what your point is?
My Sicilian heritage has a bias towards appreciating what they accomplished. However,
it's deviant.
It's deviant. And I'm trying to let go of those biases I've accumulated and recognize there's a non-deviant path.
There's hope for you, my friend. Anyone else? Okay. Yes, number 6.
But to try and answer Andre's question directly.
Yes. Let him have it. What's the matter with you?
I try to make the truth handleable.
You notice that, like the last few months ago, he stopped. He's less deviant, clearly. You want to go back to that deviancy? I'm asking you.
I prefer not to. Thank you, Master. I think my experience is you have the choice to have a drink of alcohol, you have the choice to cross your legs, you have the choice to recognize the difference between the two. And at all times, those are going to be there. So recognizing the choice, I think, is a great step to identifying you've got the demon and the Buddha within you.
Can the Buddha be the demon? Is another way to paraphrase him. Can your Buddha be a demon? Go ahead, deviant person.
There's no explanation.
No excuses.
There's no explanation besides the demon can't be anything except for the Buddha.
So the question I have is, can Buddha be the demon?
Of course, yeah.
Of course?
Because
seriously?
if the Buddha is everything, that means the Buddha is the demon too. So the demon is the Buddha, and the Buddha is the demon as well, according to the Vairochana non-dualistic view of the.
Now all the Koreans are laughing and say, "Oh, these Americans are all deviant." It's the first time I see all of them. Look at those Americans; they're so deviant. I mean, they're all laughing. Can you notice that? They are weird. They don't, Go ahead, Daniel.
I don't know, just to piggyback on Andres said, I kind of disagree with him in a way. Yes, everything was created by one creator, and it has some goodness in there. Even the demons have some goodness in there. However, their choice was to be deviant, and the choice of the Buddha is to be good. So you have the path to take. If you want to be deviant or good, and if you take the path of goodness, you're probably going to end up in heaven or Pure Land or whatever.
Wherever? What do you mean wherever? we get offended by that. Wherever? Pure Land is fantastic. How could you say wherever? It's like, I'm going to go to heaven or whatever to you. My God. I mean, my Buddha. One thing for sure, I don't know about demons. I know Buddhas will never become God. Yes, sir.
Yeah, he does have a point, and I understand what he's saying, that the Buddha is everything, but what's to say that the Buddha has the will for us to move towards good? Who's to say he isn't just peaceful and just okay with what happens? So we as individuals have the choice to move towards good or move towards evil.
Have you thought about it? the Vietnamese lay out the house, the Chinese lay out the house. You have the Buddha here and you have a lot of demons. And the first thing that for most normal people, like the Hong Kong people, they say, it's too close. Have you thought about that? Why are they so close to me? Yeah, the Buddha is, I'm here, and the demon is in my wife number one, and then Yes, 6.
Thank you, Master. I think the American response to that would be keep your friends close and your enemies closer.
Marry them preferably. Good Lord, these Westerners are impossible.
And
you're not going to comment on my comment?
I recognize your comment, and we'll get back to you.
Why are we being cautious?
But to answer your question, I think if the Buddha appeared as a demon and it created sudden enlightenment in you, the Buddha would do that.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
Buddhas are demons. You know why Buddhas need to be demons? At times, people like him need to be frightened. So the Buddha would manifest as a demon just to frighten him, so that he's scared out of his wits and drop all his prejudices. That's a sudden teaching Dharma door. Does it answer your question, sir? Mr. Yes, 9.
The master, the venerable old monk, was talking about. He had a conversation with the demon king, and the demon king said that they were actually trying to help people because people need people who are arrogant and act poorly and have deviant views. They need to be woken up. And I know personally, I haven't. A lot of my gain, a lot of the things that have benefited me the most have come from bad things happening to me. So in a way, a demon can be very beneficial to someone's path towards enlightenment.
In other words, can we agree on this? We close on this because we can stay here for another few weeks and we never run out of demonic things to talk about. Andres would never run out of demonic things to talk about. Today we touch on drugs, but next week's going to be alcohol. Okay? So can we agree on this? I forgot what you want to say. This is pretty important, but I forgot. I'm sorry. This is a very important point, but I forgot it already. Okay? Sorry. I'll tell you when it comes back. Okay? It cannot be that important in the end because I forgot it. Okay. So far so good? Just repeat the verses. We can talk all we want. It doesn't matter. These verses are meant for you to recite. Okay? And we just elaborate for you so that when people ask you, what are you talking about? Then you know what it's about. But don't sit there and say, you recite and say, Master says so, Master Xinhua says so, and so forth and so forth. No, just recite, okay? Because your understanding is there already. There's no need to go through all the explanations. Am I making sense? It's like Master Xinhua teaching the Hua Tou. He says, Hua Tou is so and so. This Hua Tou means this, means that. I said, that's not why you do Hua Tou. Hua Tou, you just contemplate Hua Tou. That's it. You don't try to understand. Just don't try to explain it. Okay? Same kind of thing. You don't need to understand I explain to you so that you have no questions when you recite. That's why we spend time doing this. Does it make sense now? Because if I don't explain to you, you recite it like this guy is going to recite it in secret, and he says, I wonder what it means. What does it mean that the Buddha is in the hall? Is it Vietnamese hall or Chinese hall? Yeah, that kind of thing. And that's why we explain it to you so that you don't have these questions. That's all. But it's not meant for you to sit there every time you say, oh, I know what it means. It's irrelevant. It's not that important. You don't need to understand. Is that clear? That's the difference here. For intellectuals, for the Chinese, they want to understand what this is about. Okay? We don't need to understand. Just recite. Is that clear? Okay, next. 10 more minutes. 268. Proper views, casting out the 3 poisons of the mind, transform the demon into Buddha. True, not false. Dharma body, reward body, and transformation body. Fundamentally, the 3 bodies are one body.
正见自除三毒心，魔变成佛真无假。法身报身即化身，三身本来是一身。
All right. Continuing. Hey, Joseph, you can write this poem too. You can recite this poem too. Okay? While meditating. And you might become enlightened before my disciples. Because my disciples are too busy working. Okay. Let me explain to you so that you understand. Proper views, casting out the 3 poisons of the mind, transform the demon into the Buddha. That is true and not false. What does it mean? Okay, it's a lot of hogwash, as the Louisiana people would like to say. Okay, it's hogwash. Okay, it doesn't matter. All the discussions above from, Andres and so forth, it doesn't matter. You Buddha or demon, doesn't matter. What it means is that if you have the 3 poisons of the mind, 3 poisons, greed, anger, stupidity. Anyone has it, you have it, you're aware of it, okay? All you have to do is recognize there are 3 poisons, you have the proper views, to reject the 3 poisons, okay, that transform the demon in your house into the Buddha in the Tang. Now the house is populated by Buddhas. We have the antidote. That's why we don't push the demons out. We let them there, stay there, so that we can, I hate to use this dirty word, convert them. You know what I mean? No, convert. Does it make sense? We keep her at bay because we want to convert her. I mean, got it? Isn't it beautiful? It is so clever. Why are you so afraid? Huh? Don't push them away to soul. Xian En. Keep them close. Convert them. You got them? Isn't it beautiful? Buddha in the Tang, in the hall, but keeps all the demons, room number 1, number 2, 3, 4, 5, and so forth, very close, so that we can convert them and love them all. That's very Vietnamese. Kim Dien never heard the Vietnamese excellent thinking like this before. Never. See? It's transcendental, my friend. See? So who do you think is more clever, the demon or the Buddha? Demon says, I'm going to get close to him so that I can get him. Buddha says, come closer so that I can love you. And all I have to do in order to convert you, okay, is to transform. Just have the proper views about the three poisons. It's not about saying, I need to get rid of the three poisons. Did you see this? Casting out the three poisons. Throw them out. Replace them with the proper views. That's all. It's that simple. It costs no money. You don't need to buy into cryptocurrency and risk losing your shirt. You see that? This is called sudden teaching because it says when you recognize that you have what? The three poisons, which are what? You get angry. Yes? Anyone gets angry? Okay? You're greedy. Yes? You're stupid. What do? You cast them out of your mind. Throw them out. All right? And you throw them out how? By having the proper views. That's all you have to do. You don't even have to physically grab them by the collar and throw them out. You only have to replace them with the proper views. It's effortless. How come none of you is enlightened yet? Wait. Hey, Koreans, this is sudden teaching. You're supposed to be enlightened by now. Hopeless. Yes. 4.
Master, how would the disciple of Master Huineng acquire proper view when the Master is about to leave?
They've been studying from under him for a long time. He has those views already. He learned about Buddhism. What we're doing here is spend the time to give you proper views. But you refuse to replace those proper views. Okay? You refuse to use the proper views to push out greed, anger, and stupidity. That's all. That's why you're not enlightened yet. Yes, Guru. Now Guru is in the game.
Master, how do you recognize when you are stupid? If you're stupid, then how do you see that you're stupid?
How do you recognize you're stupid? That's a fair question, which has a lot of answers. Koreans, how do you recognize you're stupid? Give the Koreans a chance. You guys are too advanced. Go. Come on, kimchi people. They're looking at each other. You go first. No, after you. Yipche says, I'm kimchi. You don't, I'm busy. Do I have to do everything around the temple? Cook, and I have to answer Master's questions too? Anyone else? Okay, we go back to America. Yes, 6. Quickly, we're running out of time, folks. Yes.
You show your stupidity or ignorance when you won't acknowledge and listen to the truth and you hold your stubborn opinions.
Very good. Anyone else? How do you know you're stupid? Because you're stupid. How can you recognize your stupidity? That's a fair question. I'm stupid. Listen, how can I recognize I'm stupid? He has some truth in there, you know. I'm stupid. Remember? Yes, 9.
Well, I think it comes from arrogance. So if you like Brady said, if you have an opinion and you're not willing to admit that your opinion may be wrong, that makes you stupid.
Okay.
But if you're yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let the Koreans give the Koreans a chance. Yeah. Go ahead, JMT.
Master.
That's not Korean. It doesn't have a Korean accent. How quickly this guy loses his identity.
I've been in the Korea for almost a year, Master.
Oh my God. Go ahead, Korean person.
So we follow the instruction of the good of knowing advisor. So then we can recognize our stupidity.
Okay, fine. Anyone else? Let's give another Korean person has a chance. You're not Korean? Oh, the Germans now want to voice their opinions.
I think it's very simple to recognize that. If you're not enlightened, then you're stupid.
Number 5. God, it's so insulting. This guy. I don't like Germans.
Derek said, if you have to ask, you're stupid. Agu said, you fall too many times and you start to ask yourself. That's how you recognize that you are stupid. Sue said, you're stupid when you're afflicted. Jane said, good knowing advisor tells me that I am stupid and I believe him.
Can I interest you some cryptocurrencies too? Anyone else? How do you know you're stupid? Go ahead, Christian. I'm insulting him. He said, call me Catholic, don't call me Christian. That's a stupid objection, but I can't get to do that. Yes, number 2.
I think for what it is when it doesn't fall between the laws of cause and effect. Then you will know you're kind of stupid.
Go back to your church. That's stupid answer. Go ahead, number 9.
Also, yeah, I think you're stupid if you're not happy and if you don't, if you're not.
Say what?
Yeah, if you're not happy, that means you're doing something wrong.
And you don't call this happiness?
Well, then what happens after the next day? You're not happy then, are you? Yeah.
Hey, man.
Yeah, but tomorrow you won't be happy, or in 3 hours you won't be happy. You know what I mean?
In 3 hours, I do it again.
I've been there. Trust me, I've been there. But it's there's a point you reach where you're just, even when you do that, you're still depressed. You know what I mean?
How stupid that is.
Yeah. Well, I think if you're sad or if you're depressed or angry, anything, you're stupid, because that means you're not following the proper Dharma.
How do you know you're stupid?
If you're not feeling good, if you're not feeling peaceful.
How do you know you're not doing good? I'm doing good. I'm doing very well, thank you. Huh? How do you know? It's a good question. Yes, Chung In Sunim, it better be Korean, not German again. Go ahead, German.
I think if you still have an ego, then you're stupid.
There you go, you're stupid. Absolutely, that's the answer. Do you have an ego? Then you're stupid. Do you steal an eye? Is there an ego there? You're stupid. Why do you have to let the German take all the credit? After 2 hours, he's the only one who got the whole lecture. The Vietnamese, the Chinese, the Koreans, the white people, yellow people, you all failed miserably. Nazis have the day. Q&A, go ahead. What's in a name? Yes, go ahead, Q&A. God, but you're not going to be able to get out of here. Now they refuse to leave. I cannot believe this. Go ahead. And then she's going to argue. Go ahead.
Master?
Yeah.
Anthony was just wondering how to overcome sexual desire.
Why do you have to overcome it? Can we talk about it first before we overcome it? That's what Bosco would say. Make an appointment, come see me. Go ahead, Bosco. Number 2.
What insurance he has?
Insurance. Do you have insurance? Bosco says first. Who's your carrier? It's so Bosco. He basically says, what's in it for me? He insults me too. Say, who do you think I am? I know you. He drives a white car. The wife's car is nicer, but don't touch her car. Okay. Okay, so it's fair to say, as Tony puts it, as long as you have an ego, you're stupid. Period. You can say all you want. I'm a genius. I am a savant. I am a scientist. I am a president. I am God. Okay? I. You're stupid. Ain't it clear? You are calling yourself stupid. According to Buddhism, I'm not calling you stupid, okay? Does it help? The Buddha is merciless. It says, if you still have an ego, an I, okay, you're stupid. You haven't broken through yet. That's why you're stupid. Okay? There's no way we can finish this today. Okay? But you see that this is how beautiful it is. I really recommend you read this, you memorize this poem, these verses, and when your legs are in pain, recite them. Recite them from memory. It's going to help you tremendously, especially when the legs are in pain, especially when you are in trouble. Recite it, because you get the power, the help from Master Huineng. That's a little tip for you. He says, if you recite this, I'll be there for you. No matter who you are, I'll be there for you. Where you are, I'll be there for you. I'm with you. Okay? And the difference in me and Wan Yin is if Wan Yin helps you, I help you become enlightened. One yin helps you get your car, get your job, but I help you get enlightened. You hear me? Is that clear? Especially though you are stupid or demonic. Okay? Recite the verses. Spies and so forth, recite the verses. Insurers, doctors. Yes, quickly, we need to go. 8, final comment. Oh, no, not the final comment after 8. It's 2, and that's it.
Master, what else can we do to get a good job?
Yes, number 2. I can't answer that. What a stupid question.
Master, another stupid question. How do you know if you're under demonic power or you're under their influence?
God, it's stupid. Another stupid question. Can we pick it up next week? There's no way you can answer this in 1 second without insulting you.
I'm stupid, so that's...
Okay, see you next time. Thank you.